Morning and welcome to the vlog. Hi, I'm Jim from Whatnot Adventures, and I hope you're having a great day. We're having a pretty good day here. It's a little overcast, but it's a lot cooler, and I'll take that. Well, today, folks, we are in Yemassee, South Carolina, about 17 miles northwest of Beaufort, South Carolina, here in Beaufort County, at the old Sheldon Church ruins. This is a pretty historic uh, church ruins, and I've drove a couple hours down here to take a look and share this with you. So let's go see what we shall see. Now, just outside of the ruins here, there's this historical marker, and it says Prince William Parish Church, Sheldon Church. These ruins are of Prince William's Parish Church, built circa 1751-57 and partially burned during the American Revolution, with its interior and roof rebuilt 1825 to 26. This Anglican church was primarily paid for by Lieutenant Governor William Bull I, 1683 to 1755, who is buried here. It is often called Sheldon after Bull's plantation. Now on the other side, the story continues. Local loyalists burned the church in 1779 during a raid by General Augustine Prevost. It was assumed by many area residents in 1865 and has been widely believed since that federal troops burned Sheldon Church during the last months of the Civil War. It was actually dismantled by local freemen circa 1865 to 67. Okay, well, let's head on in and see these ruins. Well, this is our first glimpse of the church ruins, nestled here amongst all these huge live oak trees. Okay, a privately owned historic property of the Parish Church of St. Helena, Beaufort, South Carolina. St. Helena's welcomes visitors to this sacred place with the spiritual legacy dating to its establishment in 1745. Old Sheldon is not a recreational area or playground. When visiting with children, we ask that you keep them under supervision and avoid contact with the historic ruins and surrounding gravestones and structures. We hope you enjoy your visit and leave Old Sheldon as you found it for the enjoyment of others who follow. Tax-deductible donations for the preservation of this historic site are welcome to be made to the Parish Church of St. Helena, Old Sheldon, P.O. Box 1043 in Beaufort, South Carolina. And I'm going to leave a couple of links in the video description for more information about this wonderful place. But let's go ahead and take a look here. Isn't this something? It's absolutely beautiful. Now, one of the links to a website that I'm putting in the video description has a artist painting of the way the church looked before it was destroyed. I was going to try to put it in the video here, but there are copyright infringement concerns. And so it's best if you just go take a look at that website for yourself. But this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now here at the entrance of the church, There are a couple of plaques, and I'm going to try to read them from here. Church of Prince William's Parish, known as Sheldon, built between 1745 and 1755, burned by the British Army 1779, rebuilt 1826, burned by the Federal Army 1865. Tablet was placed by the Columbia Communities. I can't read the rest of that. And over here, friends who have come into our churchyard, please treat these sacred ruins, the graves, and the grounds that surround them with the respected reverence they deserve. Leave feeling old Sheldon is not worse, but for the better, for our presence. Isn't that something? Really nice. Let's walk around to the side here. Now they've put this fence up because in the past they've had problems with people coming in here and vandalizing. And it's a shame that people do that. But I'm glad that they're working on trying to preserve what's here so that we can take a look. And again, if you take a look at the website, it's in the video description, you're going to see that wonderful painting. And this church was just a marvelous, marvelous building back then. I think it's pretty stunning right now as a ruins. I've never seen anything like this before. And here we're coming up to the back side of the church. And there are some graves here. Wow. As we continue around the back here, you'll notice down on the ground there are some more flat grave markers, headstones behind there, the back of the church here. And throughout the surrounding grounds, there are grave sites with headstones. This is really a wonderful place to come visit. That is just a beautiful, beautiful angle right there. Look at that. This was built centuries ago. And some more graves here on this side. We're walking up here along the other side of the church. And just looking through. And this is something indeed. I'm really glad I made the trip today. Wow. Now I've walked out a ways into the yard from the church, and I want to show you a couple of these graves here. Now this says Campbell, Elizabeth W., 1921 to 2014, and William A., 1918 to 2008. And then over here, we have Campbell, Colin, July the 6th, 1923 to April the 4th, 2006, and Kate Curry, April the 20th, 1920 to January 30th, 2018. But here's where I think those two sets of graves tie into this one. Matthew and Timothy, infant twin sons of John Marion and Helen Campbell, Burbage, August 1983. So they are still using the churchyard for active interment. I think the older ones are closer to the church, and the newer ones are further out. But isn't it something? All right, we're up the front left corner of the church, and right here are a few more graves. In memory of Anne Bull Hayward, wife of Daniel Hayward, who died October the 4th, 1851, in the 38th year of her age. And here is her husband, in memory of Daniel Hayward, a planter, born April 8th, 1810, died September 27th, 1888. And now the Lord, what is my hope? Truly my hope is even in thee. And this one, in memory of Charlotte Henkel, wife of Allen S. Henkel, died February the 21st, AD 1860, in the 22nd year of her age. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels. Isn't that nice? Here's one that's kind of broken. I can't really read that too well. We have one here in the front. The slab is cracked. Isn't that something? Okay. And this little plaque, the Campbell Oak, dedicated to Biz and Bill Campbell and their family for over 75 years of loving care of these grounds, 2006. And it must be this oak tree here. Isn't that something? It's huge. Wow. And over here, Thelma C. White, November the 3rd, 1927 to February the 1st, 1946. Infant daughter of W.E. and Juanita White, 1937. Willie White, September the 29th, 1925 to December the 10th, 1928. And this one, infant son of H.P. and Janie White, 1941. So they were all related. 3 of the children were very, very young when they passed. We have one over here. Harold Miller Moffett, born September the 23rd, 1915, and died June 6, 1917. So just a little baby. Right here in the churchyard. All right, I'm over here on the other side of the church, and I found another headstone for a very young child. Tollins Sam, son of S.P. and Eva Canerly, December the 13th, 1930 to July 23rd, 1935. So he was about 4.5 years old. Okay, I stepped back a bit, try to get in a better view of some of these large live oaks that surround the church ruins. They're really, really big. They're beautiful. Some of them have that Spanish moss hanging in them. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Have you ever been here before? Have you visited the old Sheldon Church ruins? If so, I'd like to hear about your impressions. I'm just walking around the edge of the churchyard here. It's like the inside walls almost have like I know this isn't true, but almost like they're glowing in comparison with the outside. Isn't that pretty? Absolutely stunning. What do y'all think? I think it was well worth the trip for me to come today. Take a look at the old Sheldon Church ruins, and I hope you did enjoy this. Again, there'll be information in the video description. Please take a look, especially for that painting showing what the church looked like before it was destroyed. All right, folks, it's your turn. For you to go out, explore this, that, and the other. You know the whatnots in your life. And until next time, take care, be safe, bye.